Let's play the video game? Okay, so here's one cool thing they added. There's actually a notification saying, hey, you have a new message at the comm station. Go for it. Victor is here. Let's see. Hello, Beatrix. Seeing as you've taken an interest in building gadgets, I put together a little housewarming gift in support of both your pragmatic and creative endeavors. Looking forward to seeing what you build. Oh, nice. We can make med stations now. Thanks. And he gave me one. Conservatory tables, chairs. Wow. Awesome. We have tables and chairs now. Let's go. Hey, B, I know it's silly, but I worry about the hard work you do out there all on your own. So I sent you a little care package. Hope it gives you a little extra get up and go. Hey, we can craft grass. Grass crafting, one of my favorite pastimes. So, let me, since I'm seeing a little bit of hitching going on, let's turn the graphics down to medium and see how that does. To make things a little bit smoother. What is this? What is this? Why is there a timer around my refinery link? What? What? Why are there timers around some of my gadgets? Because I see that the feet are... Oh, installing. Huh. Interesting. Interesting. That must be a factor of the new gadget system. Speaking of which... Oh, look at that. Oh, look at that. We can just free play stuff. That's awesome. And look, we can see like a whole list of gadgets. Divided up by categories. And we have a favorites bar. Oh, that's awesome. Alright. Refinery link is getting added to favorites. Can we do that? Okay, I need to confirm it. There we go. Put the dash pad in there. I guess we could put the spring pad in there. For what it's worth. Market link. Can I move my favorites around? Doesn't look like it. Refinery link. Oh, it's... Look at all of these options. I guess I have to click them to get rid of the little orange bubbles. Can't be having any of those. Oh, there's a lot of orange bubbles on this page. Look at all those. Look at all these notification badges. Let's get them out of here. Oh, there's so many. So many badges. Gotta click them all. I need to know when we actually have something brand new. I'll look through them with a little bit more detail in a moment, because I think we've got some new ones in here. It's like we've got wind chimes, we got benches, we've got conservatory lamp, we have some teacups, some interesting little stuff in here. Oh, a swing! Awesome. So there's some fun little stuff in here. Easy breezy fan. Round bumper? Huh. Let's see here. Warp Tech, I want the refinery link and the market link up there. And then the dash pad and the spring pad are useful as well. Save the rest for another time. Oh, there's a mark all as seen button. I wish I had, ironically, seen that sooner. I don't know, it's kind of like popping bubble wrap though. Where it's like, hey, you know what? It's kind of fun to just click through all the things. Yeah, so I don't necessarily have to keep this dash pad in this particular spot anymore. Let's put this away. And you know what else is nice that they changed? They made it so that when you pick up gadgets, they don't get destroyed. They just go into your inventory. So that's a really nice change too. You actually get to reuse your gadgets. Let's see, I've got the Tangle Slime here. Where was I gonna put this guy? I think I was gonna put him over here, right? I see a rooster trying to escape here. I was thinking of putting the Tangle Slime in here, but I also want to get a Dervish Slime. So we have that kind of ready to go. Okay. So now we're actually in it. We're back out on the go. Conservatory still has some optimization that could be done in terms of performance, but they've said as much, so they know. They're working on it. But let's go down to the actual fabricator down in the lab here and see what we've got as options, because I think they changed the interface in a few places as well. Oh, that looks so nice. It's a lot more clean and compact. I love the blue backdrop versus having just like the light tan beige kind of background. This does look really nice. So let's see. We still need 3 Sun Sap for Golden Sure Shot 3. And the other thing that's kind of cool about this menu is how large it is. I feel like that leaves a lot of potential space for more upgrades and things to actually show up in this menu. So that's also encouraging. Let's see, is there anything in here that I would want to specifically keep with me? Oh, we need a resource that I don't have access to yet, or haven't seen yet. Mystery resource. Interesting. And I assume a lot of these question marks here are going to be from some of the treasure pods that we'll need to find. So, oh man, the map looks so nice. Look how oh my gosh, it's so detailed. Oh, that looks incredible. Wow. Wow, wait a minute. Wait, this is new. This wasn't open before, I don't think. That looks new. I think we could only get over to here before. This is open now. Oh, we're gonna have to go check that out. But the map looks gorgeous. Look at all that detail. Looks so good. And you can actually see the individual plot areas on the different sections of the ranch, where you could build like corrals and stuff like that. That's pretty cool. I wonder if they're going to add more detailed icons for those later, so you can see what facilities you have set up in those places. That's really cool. Now what I was going to say is they have acknowledged that one issue that's happening right now is that the conservatory is not being addressed as a unique area. It's getting lumped in with Rainbow Fields. So for the time being, it looks like we have one treasure pod to find in the Rainbow Fields, 3 more in the Starlight Strand, 4 more in the Ember Valley, and 2 more in the Powderfall Bluffs. Now, Powderfall Bluffs, it looks like there's another little island out here that we can go to. I don't think that was there before either. You know, I can always confirm that because I have maps. I have the maps of the different areas. So I know what these places look like, at least in the older versions. That's another thing that's kind of cool about having these maps, is that I can just look at the old versions. Okay, so these little plot areas, like in the conservatories, these squares, they were there before, but they were just gray squares. Now they have a little bit more of like a border to them. They look just a little bit more detailed. Gosh, the map looks so much better, though. I guess that could kind of be up to personal preference, though. Because the old one was pretty topographically minimalist, which was kind of nice in its own way. It fits more of the, like, toonish aesthetic of the game. Very bright and cheerful, but no denying that this map does also look really nice. Like, just the map just looks nice. I don't know what else to say. Like, it looks really nice. But let's see here. I need to look at what we had before for the Rainbow Fields. So this was the conservatory that had some pictures up. I feel like, this is like an old version of this picture, huh? Did I... Let me look at this. Interesting. My Rainbow Island map doesn't seem to be, like, fully fleshed out in terms of actually having things marked. I wonder why that would be the case. Oh well, it'll probably be good for me to go through, take pictures of the new maps, and then just make sure everything's up to date. Because I am somewhat overdue for updating these maps. Just making sure that they actually have the proper, number of treasure pods and all that. I'll probably do that sometime soon. I just want to double check and make sure I'm not missing any, because I just also moved my stuff around for the treasure pod maps to be a little more easily organized so I can find them in the folder faster. Okay, well, we're missing one treasure pod in the Rainbow Fields, and since my map is relatively incomplete for that... Yeah, that's the other slime we're missing there. Honestly, the dervish plorts are probably what we need for that fan, now that I think of it, because they are, tornado-based slimes. That would make sense. Let's see here. I guess, since we're already going to be out and about looking for treasure pods, I'll just get my circle tool ready here and just be ready to draw the circles whenever we find a treasure pod. I have 3 of them marked at the Rainbow Fields. I have them marked for the conservatory. There are 3 treasure pods we found in the conservatory area. I have those circled, but for some reason, none of the other ones. Not sure why that's the case. But we'll just take a quick little run around, and at the very least, I'll go around and mark all the ones that I already know about. And, you know, it'll give us a chance to explore anyway. Always grab some more resources while we're wandering around. Never know when we're gonna need more resources, right? Alright, so here's a treasure pod right at this spot on the map. Kind of zoom out a bit so I can draw the circle better. Let's see. Oh, I have to rationalize the location based on the visuals of the new map, too. It's gonna be a little bit trippy. But I can manage. Let's see, that one's right there. Save that. Okay. Figure I may as well just run around and mark all the ones I already know about. Make it easier to find the ones that we haven't. Is there one up there? Gosh, it has been a while since I've properly explored the larger expanse of this area. Here's one. Let's go ahead and mark these. Let's see, that one is right here. Yeah, the reason I have myself zoomed out so far is because it makes it easier for me to pinpoint the location, because the Beatrix marker isn't taking up quite as much of the screen's real estate then. Okay, got that one marked. Let's see, I know that there is another... Hello there. Welcome on in, Ninja. How are you doing tonight? I know there's another treasure pod. Is there one down here? There is. Let me mark that one on the map as well. Once we're done with Rainbow Fields, I think the other ones, the other maps look like they still have all their markings on them. Oh yeah, these definitely have all the marks on them, so it should not be a problem. I don't know why, but for some reason I just have no idea where my Rainbow Fields map went. I don't know if it just got lost in the shuffle at some point. It'd be a bit unfortunate if that was the case. But it's alright. For now, we will just work on getting them marked, because I want to have the conservatory and the Rainbow Fields maps separate, so that I can keep track of each area separately. But I'll probably do that once they actually have the map markings separated as well. So right now, the conservatory gets wrapped into Rainbow Fields at the same time. So it's kind of hard for me to tell exactly which counter to be believing. Pretty good aside from being sicko. Oh no. Not illness. Oh, sorry to hear that. Hopefully you get better soon. Speedy recovery. We got that treasure pod marked. The one I'm thinking of is over... Is there one over in the teleporter cave? I think so. Gosh, it's been a while since I've run around this area. I'm trying to remember where all these treasure pods even are. Which is why I usually like to keep a map. The map's only good if I can actually find it. We'll track them down. I remember at least a couple of treasure pod locations, so we should be able to start marking stuff, narrowing down. I know one of them's back here. We'll get that one marked on the map here. Gosh, it is really weird having the two different visual styles on the of map. Having this way more more flat cartoonish style for the map I have a screenshot of, and then the new, much more detailed and shaded map we have now. Let's see if there's 18 total, and we have 3 plus the 4 that we've marked to 7. I've got plenty of treasure pods to find yet. Thankfully, since this is the first area of the game, it's pretty straightforward to find a good number of them. They're not exactly the most hidden. Okay, let's see, that should be 8 markings now. Okay, 8 markings. We still need to mark 10 more, and that does include the one new pod that we need to find. But we will figure that out in due time. In the meanwhile, I may as well explore. I think this whole landmass that we're on right now is new. Is it? This feels new. This does feel very new. There's this treasure pod over here, but I think from here over I think that's all new. That's another thing. Yeah, oh, I could totally just look at the old map and see what's new. Because they have added some landmass areas, as it turns out. And that is one of them. That is weird. That is weird to just have brand new areas of land that just show up between updates. It's kind of cool, though, to see the world gradually expanding, even if a little disorientating at first. Yeah, it's still pretty cool. So yeah, from here, this whole landmass is completely brand new. This was not here in the last update. So we have another spot to pick up some deep brine. It looks like we've got cotton slimes that spawn over here. And tabby slimes as well. Now, I did see this tree up here I'd like to try and get up to, because my treasure pod senses are tingling. I feel like somewhere like this would be a noteworthy spot to have a treasure pod hanging out. Yep, there we go. Awesome. Boombox. Nice. Let's take a look at that. Oh, she pulls up like an actual... Gosh, I never used the Slimepedia, but they redesigned this menu too. I assume to kind of give visual unity to everything. Carry the tunes of the far, far range wherever you go, so long as where you go includes this boombox. Storm glass. Oh, that must be from one of the different weather conditions. I have not seen any of that yet. Oh boy. I'm just gonna real quick, because we've seen all of these things, I need to just mark them all as things that we've actually seen. So yeah, now we can place gadgets nearly anywhere in the world. So that's very, very nice. Yeah, that's kind of cool that Bo actually, like, Beatrix LeBeau actually pulls out the Slimepedia as a physical object. That's pretty cool. Okay, so we know there's one up here. I can't really mark that on the map because the old map that I have a picture of doesn't have this landmass, so I'm just going to draw a circle in the general vicinity of where it is. I'll need to go back and get new screenshots of these areas so that we can actually so I can actually put together proper maps of these updated for the new areas. But I'll work on that another time. We want to see the new stuff today, so since we found the new treasure pot here, we'll check out a different area. Where should we go next? I guess we could go Starlight Strand. I'll get that map pulled up. Have you heard of the finals? I have heard about it, but I don't know anything. I've heard the name, but I don't know anything about it specifically. Let's see, where's my Starlight Strand map? Open that up here. Okay. Boy, this is covered. This is covered in circles. So let's see, let me see how many we have here. It's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. Yeah, I have 28 circles right now, so that matches up with where we're at. So we just need to find 3 more. Interesting. Best game? No, finals are pretty good. Like I said, I've heard the name, but other than that, I don't really know anything about it. So, like, what kind of game is it? Like, I genuinely know almost nothing about it besides that, yeah, it's the name of a game. You remember Mirror's Edge? Oh gosh, how could I forget Mirror's Edge? Mirror's Edge is iconic. You know, that might actually be a fun game to revisit at some point. Yeah, Mirror's Edge really scratches the itch of parkour gaming. Has some really nice first-person parkour. Let's see, I'm gonna take the northern entrance to the Starlight Strand. I do not remember where I put any of my dash pads. There's one here. Pop in Starlight Strand here. Okay. So let me take a look at the map and see what the first suspect is going to be. Any new land masses. Any pieces of land that weren't in existence before is going to be like primary suspect. That whole island there was not there last time. So that is the first place we're going to go. Yeah, any locations that are completely brand spanking new, that weren't even on the map before, we'll start with those locations because there's got to be at least one treasure pod in those areas. So we'll go check it out. Game made by some devs of Mirror's Edge and Battlefield, so it's an FPS with Mirror's Edge aesthetics, and Battlefield has destruction during combat. And it's free. Interesting. Methinks I'll have to give it a closer look sometime. Let's see. Where could a treasure pod be? Oh, Mossy Hen statue. That's most fun. Get some high ground here. Hey, would you look at that? Treasure pod. There you are. We'll grab this. Let's see what we got in here. Golden Tangle statue. Golden monument to the tenacious Tangle slime, which makes a great garden centerpiece when you'd rather not deal with Tangle slimes. 15,000 new bucks to make it. Alright, let's mark this on my outdated map. Let's see, it's roughly around... Get my circle tool, please. Thank you. I mean, somewhere around here in the water, I guess. I can't really accurately place it because I don't have it on the map, so I'm just gonna have to do approximate locations for now until I get new screenshots. Put in 100 hours thus far. Oh, nice. Sounds like you're enjoying it pretty well. Is it single player or multiplayer? I think that makes a huge difference for me, because I'm not very well experienced in the multiplayer shooter realm. Okay, so we have this nice little spot. I do like that they're adding new areas. They're keeping the areas that are already in the game kind of fresh by adding little bits of new areas in it. They're slowly adding on to it over time. Let's see. Oh, interesting. So in the old map, there used to be like a couple of huge rock faces jutting out of the water over here. They're just off the map now. I wonder if they did that to avoid confusion, potentially? Let me take a look. They also got rid of, there was like a little tiny rock pillar kind of thing in this little body of water here, and that's also missing from the map. It's kind of interesting to see how different this is. But yeah, this whole little peninsula area is definitely new. That is completely new there. I'm just trying to look and see if there's a third area that's new. I'm sure we'll find something new over here. So let's head over that way. I hope I can make it across here. I don't think I'm gonna make it. Nope. We're going in the water. I figured I'd try it. All that really does is just make some time pass. I have the settings on pretty casual right now, so it shouldn't be too harsh of a punishment or anything. I just need to check and make sure that these things aren't too full. I think we're okay to explore a little bit longer. Maybe finish up the Starlight Strand and then come back and do some ranch upkeep. Let's go... Let me see here. Yeah, we'll just go Starlight Strand here. We'll just take this entrance and then run down the coastline. Just head in this general direction down here. We'll get where we need to go. Let's see. Multiplayer, 3 players per team with 3 or 4 teams in a match. Interesting. Always interesting to have like those multi-team modes where it's not just one team versus another. Lends itself to a bit more of a chaotic element. Yeah, I'll have to take a look at that sometime. Because, like, honestly, this is the most I've heard about it so far. I guess I just haven't been around people who really talk about it very much. Grab some resources while we're in the area. Why not? Whoa! Launch a little bit off of the terrain there. That is still something that they're working on, too. Alright, so this here... This onward is all new. So I'm just trying to get a feel for the new areas and how they kind of tie in to what I'm familiar with. We got a hen over here. Oh, ribbon streamers. Those look kind of nice. Oh, looky, we got pinwheels. So these are things that'll be affected by the weather. So if this area gets some like more stormy conditions where we get higher wind speeds, then these things like the pinwheels and the ribbon streamers will start to move a little faster, I would think. That's pretty fun. And because we have free placement on gadgets now, we can make like a whole field of pinwheels like they did in some of the promotional material. And then you can just have a whole bunch of pinwheels all spinning in the wind. Let's take a look around here. Let's see, higher ground would be pretty cool. Ooh. Now this seems interesting. Got this little tucked away cave area. Ooh, a new place to find strange diamonds. Awesome. Anywhere we can find strange diamond spawns are pretty good. Hunt cannon. This danger-defying cannon launches whatever is loaded into it through the air. Never get in yourself unless you're wearing a slime as a safety helmet. We might have to try this one. If it actually can be used for utility purposes, which it's listed under utilities, so I would think it could actually be useful in a specific way. That could be really nice. So let me mark this in the general area that it exists in on the map here. Let's do, I guess, somewhere around there? I mean, that'll have to do as far as an estimation. Now, since this one's kind of below ground level, I wouldn't be surprised if they also had another treasure pod over here that was above ground level. Because one thing we've kind of discovered during past treasure pod exploration streams is treasure pods aren't necessarily always super horizontally spread out on the map. There are some cases where, even though on the map, the treasure pod locations would basically be overlapping each other, vertically speaking, they are in very different elevations. So in that sense, as far as a two-dimensional top-down map is concerned, the treasure pods might as well be right next to each other. But in a three-dimensional space, they are rather separate from each other. So it would not surprise me if there was another treasure pod up here somewhere, since the other one is kind of like down below. Also, I feel like this might be an entry point to something later, maybe? They might connect more land over here, perhaps? But even so, this is kind of a nice little picture, like a nice little Kodak moment here. But I don't see any other treasure pods up here. At least not that I've noticed, but there is some higher ground we could climb to. Like up here. I need to recharge my energy. Running out of jetpack fuel here. I don't really see much of anything else around here. Oh, hi. Sorry, I didn't mean to land on your head, buddy. Didn't mean to Goomba stomp you. What landmass is that out there? Oh yeah, that's the first landmass we went to when we got here. Still no idea what's inside this labyrinth yet. Still haven't added that area in. But who knows, maybe that's one of the pieces of new content we'll see during one of the other two updates coming up later this year. They said they have one coming up or scheduled for summer, and then one for fall. But they are keeping the details pretty undisclosed as of right now. I think the only hint we really got was that the fall update was going to be, as they put it, quote-unquote, Gordo-sized. And if that implies what I think it does, that may mean that we're getting possibly some more overworld Gordos? Like those really huge slimes that just kind of chill out until you feed them enough food. I mean, either that or they might be adding something like the Gordo snare, where then you could capture your own Gordo slimes. Grab these resources while we're here. Let me go deposit these resources and then take another look at the map and see if there's anything else that we can really identify as new here. Any different land masses that were added? Because I really just want to look for the obvious check spots first before we start scouring the map in its entirety for the last remaining treasure pod here. Because honestly, it could be just about anywhere. Overall, the treasure pod marks that I have on here are relatively spread out. But like I mentioned before, just because they're spread out on the map is no guarantee that they're not going to be kind of stacked on top of each other. So that is something to have to keep in mind as we're looking around. Yeah, we might have to go section by section. Do a good old-fashioned scouring of the area. Just go across the map one bit at a time. See if we can't find the last treasure pod. I mean, I've done it for so many treasure pods already. What's one more? Let's land here, let my energy recharge. So I'm pretty sure, as far as we've looked over here, I don't think it's gonna be above ground level. Like at or above ground level. So I'm thinking about checking a little bit more underneath in some of these little areas, like down here, to see if there's any little hideaway ledges or something. Sometimes they do that. Sometimes there are just these little alcoves that are kind of tucked out of the way. And a little tricky to spot at first. I'll just land at the ground level. I don't think there's going to be any more treasure pods over there specifically. Grab some more water. Okay, let's begin the search here, I suppose. Section by section, where do I want to go? Section by section is kind of daunting. But I think as long as we're generally pretty thorough in our approach, we should be okay. Because there aren't any other new land masses that I can see comparing the old and the new maps. So I think the new treasure pod's probably going to be somewhere within the pre-existing maps area. I just want to get a bit of elevation to look around here. So I might be able to spot it from up here. I can't remember exactly how the draw distance affects the visibility of treasure pods. Oh, I wish I could get up there. That'd be pretty fun. It's just a little bit too far up there. Can't quite wedge myself up there. I think it might be the same story here. Yeah, I can't quite force myself up to that spot. I could get some Moondew Nectar, though. It's always fun. I mean, it's gonna be wild whenever we can actually go into the labyrinth. That is gonna be something else. Gosh, I'm just trying to think of like, where could we even look. Because going through all of the new area yielded one treasure pod. But I don't know that I'm exactly ready to look through the entirety of the Starlight Strand from top to bottom all over again for one treasure pod. That seems like something that might be easier for me to kind of start fresh with in a certain way. Well, at the very least, we can come back to it. I want to check out the new land masses in the different locations and see what kind of gadgets we find from those before we get too committed to just only being in a single area. Plus, I kind of need to get back to the ranch and fix up, maintain some of these things here. Because, like, look at all these plorts. A lot of plorts there. Let's get the silky sand in there. Alright, let's clear these out. Boy, I tell you, I'll be real excited when we get the drones back. Being able to automate this process would be hugely helpful. Let's see, so Hunter and Tabby plorts are both full. So we'll just sell those. I don't think we really need any plorts besides saber plorts. Saber, Yogi, and of course Tangle and Dervish plorts, but we only have one Tangle slime and I kind of want the Dervish slime too, so we could just combine the two. We'll just grab all of these out of here. And then we'll probably head to the... Gosh, I guess the Powderfall Bluffs next. Save the big area for last. Because the Ember Shard Valley, the Ember Valley here is gonna be... It's gonna be a lot, I think. Powderfall Bluffs are a little bit more contained, plus there's a very obvious new area to check out over there. It seems like it might be large enough to contain 2 treasure pods. Because maybe the treasure pods are only in new areas. That was the case for the Rainbow Fields at the very least. The one new treasure pod was in the one new area. Let's see, what else? Plus there's 4 treasure pods to find in the Ember Valley. So that's gonna be a lot. There's also this. This is something that they're also addressing. There's this teleportation mark from somewhere just a little further west of the Ember Valley, all the way up toward like the very northern edge of the map. That's not supposed to be visible. The devs have said as much. Just grab these guys. We got an elder here. Let's scoop them up real quick. Leave these guys in here. Spread them out a little bit so they're not stacked on top of each other. Refill the food supply. Put the other ones in the corral. Okay. Let's see, where do I actually want dash pads? How about we make it at least a little bit more centralized to the path itself? There we go. So that's installing. Perfect. Isn't that convenient? Fill up my inventory with these again, since we've lost some of them when I dived feet first into the ocean. Turns out that's not a great way to hold on to items. Oh, these are pomegranates. Those are... right, okay. I confused what these were for a moment. Thought they were both the same thing. They're not. They definitely are not the same thing. The cool thing about the finals, it's a virtual tournament, so in-game they have live spectators and a crowd and sponsors and everything. Oh, interesting. So it's got a little bit of like a Hunger Games kind of vibe to it as well then? At least that's what it makes me think of when I hear like that kind of description. Especially with like the sponsors kind of thing. I guess it's feeding time, so I can just put the rest of this in here and it'll work itself out. Perfect. I don't need these prickle pears. I don't know why I have them. That's the thing I'm growing. I don't remember where I even was putting those. It has been a while since I've set some things up here. I mean, that's bound to happen when we're working with the same save file from when early access first released. I've just kind of been incrementally adding to it as the updates continue. I'm trying to remember, like, when did this game, when did the early access release? Because it's been a little bit, hasn't it? Can't remember. When did the early access come out? Can I see that information? Can I see when it came out? I guess I could scroll down to like the bottom of their... Oh yeah, September 22nd of 2022 was when this game came out on early access. On Steam at least, so... Wow. It's already been like a year and a half? Boy. I do trust that they're like the reason that a game like this exists in early access for as long as it does is because I can tell that they're putting a lot of care and diligence into each of their updates. Monami Park is not a crunch culture type of company from my understanding. They specifically go out of their way to be like, okay, we don't necessarily like to put specific dates to things because we don't want to build expectations that then lead to us having to crunch if things come up that take a little bit more time to sort out than we had anticipated. And it's like, I can respect that. I definitely totally understand not wanting to set up certain expectations and then having it be like, oh, we have to delay this thing now because of extenuating circumstances or different things like that. I definitely am more than happy just letting things happen in their own time. I have these guys, these painted hens. Do I have them set up in here somewhere? I guess this is where I'm putting them, huh? Here. I guess I do need to pick all of these guys up real quick. So then I just need to make sure that we leave 4 of them in there. Because I want to start saving these guys up. Right? Yeah, we'll just put them over here. Start getting a little bit of a pool of painted hens started up here. And then we have a roostro, which we can then toss into... Yeah, put down a dash pad here. So that when I'm dashing out of here, I can just use that. Wait for it to install here. And there we go. I don't have to rely on fixed gadget locations anymore. It's really nice for situations like this, where I just want to, like, run between. I can just set up dash pads wherever I need them. It's wonderful. I do have to craft them, though. I do have to fabricate a bunch of them to be able to have that luxury. What do they take to craft? Oh, that's nothing. We can say we can bulk fabricate gadgets, which is really nice too. I think I'll just make 5 of those. Since we're here, now a warp depot. I guess we should fabricate this so we have it on hand. And then I wanted to make one of these stunt cannons. A pinball-inspired bumper that bumps around any object you throw at it. Ooh. Fun. I don't think there's anything else that we need right now. I want to test out this stunt cannon, though. So let me set up a dash pad here. Because I do want one... Yeah, right around there is fine. I just want to be able to run around without having to use up my energy. I don't think there's a great spot for it in here. The thing I could think is like maybe right here. Just have one like right at the corner. So I can just run from there and then keep running through. Something like that. Where is my warp depot? Did that get removed? I think there's supposed to be a warp depot over here, but it got removed at some point. Where's the other half of it? Because there totally is supposed to be another half to it. Wait. Hmm. I don't know where the other half of it, the teleporter is. That's interesting. Well, I got these guys growing over here anyway, so... Gosh, I almost completely forgot the Yoki slime was in here. It's so bright that it just kind of blends in with all the really bright lighting. Leave all of these guys here. There's a bunch of them. And we'll toss these into the feeder. Toss these into the feeder. There we go. This guy to a different inventory slot so I can grab the plorts here. Try and get these saber plorts filled up. Fill up the resource area with it. So we can use it for science. Saber plorts need to go in here. Drift crystal. Lightning mote. Storm glass. That's interesting. Let's see. Yeah, saber plorts. We only have 700. 702 of them. We gotta keep stacking up more of them. Alright. These I need to sell. Because we're maxed out on ringtail plorts. Alrighty, we'll grab the rest of the ones that are in here. Just to make sure it's nice and cleared out for later. And I think we're good. I don't need to go check on the puddle slimes because they don't really drop their plorts unless I enter the area that they're stationed in. So that shouldn't be a problem. Let's test out this stunt cannon. How does this work? We just put it right here. Press E to activate. Okay, so that changes the angle of trajectory. So we've got... Oh, interesting. We got a few different angles to work with here. Do I put a slime in here? Or do I just launch something into it? Oh. Oh, it's kind of fun. So we just put something into the slot, and then it gets launched out the other side. And that's about as simple as it gets. Kind of wish I could launch out of it, and that was a bit more high velocity, but, you know, never know when something like this could come in handy. We'll keep it with us. Maybe someday it will come in handy. For now, Powderfall Bluffs. Let me open up the map here. Let me get the old map up here too. Okay, so we should have 21 circles on this map. And we'll have 2 more to find. Zoom out the map a little bit so I can see the whole thing. Alright, what's new on the map? Just take a look at the whole overview of the main area to see if there's any new formations before we address the obvious change. The obvious change being this whole landmass up here in the northwestern sector is completely new. Will we find 2 treasure pods up there? Let's find out. Got a little ways to go to get there. Okay. I can put down another dash pad right here somewhere. I guess right here would be pretty good. I'm just trying to think, if I need to run through these areas, I'll just have these dash pads ready to go, so that I can just continue my running momentum without having to worry about the energy cost of it. Head over here. We're getting pretty close. Alright, there's our intended access point over here. So everything across the water here is completely new. Just make sure there's nothing hiding around here. Okay. Alright. New area. Let's check it out. What have we got going on over here? Alrighty. Oh, good. Got some feral slimes up ahead, perhaps? It's usually what that danger sign indicates. This statue here also does not exactly bode well for my safety. Ooh, 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 ooh. That's the kind of treasure pod I'm always happy to find early. These little intricately hidden ones. Aurora flowers. While not truly auroras, these ethereal flowers capture the majestic, prismatic splendor of the night sky. And it only costs 5 saber plorts and 25 new bucks. Nice and cheap and simple. How do I mark this on the map? I guess it would be somewhere around here in the water. Good enough. I'll transfer all these markings on my own time to new screenshots of these maps, so we can actually keep better track of them. Especially if I don't end up locating all of the treasure pods, like that one in the Starlight Strand, but I'm not sure where it actually is yet. It's gonna make it easier for me to make sure that I know where the treasure pods are that we've already found. Plus, I do need to go back and remark. Oh, the Aurora's right, these light bridges. Those would make it a lot more obvious to go down there. But I'll also need to go back to the Rainbow Fields and get all of those treasure pods marked down again, because we found them all. We have all 18 of them. I just need to mark them on the map again, because for whatever reason my Rainbow Fields map is completely missing from my personal files. I don't know where it went. Can I get up here? Yes, I can. Nice little vantage point. Really gives a nice look at the whole encasing, like the partial encasing of snow and ice that kind of partially surrounds the Powderfall Bluffs here. That's pretty fun. Wonder if there is another treasure pod over here, or if it's somewhere else in the Powderfall Bluffs, and this is going to be another situation kind of like Starlight Strand, where it's just hidden somewhere. I'm going to take these, thank you. I'm going to fly out here for a little bit, just to see if there's anything on the outskirts. I don't see any other really obvious hiding spots for stuff. I'm gonna take these resources though. Might as well while we're here. Let's see, are there any other little nooks and crannies I haven't checked out yet? Maybe something over this way. I think it may be hidden somewhere else in the Powderfall Bluffs. There's also these nice little light bridges to lead us back. I do like that about this area. It's kind of interesting to have these light bridges that show up at night to make traversing to different areas different than just having to jetpack over to them. Plus, it just makes the area feel a little more like it has a unique identity, because it has I guess a quote-unquote gimmick that kind of is unique to this particular area. I think that's pretty neat. Alright, so let's see. Same kind of thing again. I don't necessarily want to spend a ton of time looking through the entire Powderfall Bluffs again, looking for this one last treasure pod. At least not yet. I'm fine with taking the time to look for them. I do also want to at least see all of the new physical areas that have been added to each of the different zones. And that just leaves us with the Ember Valley left to check out. Also, these water puddles are definitely new. I do not remember having reflective puddles. That feels different. That feels like it was not there before. I don't know if that's truly the case or not, but it definitely feels like something that was added recently. Take a look at these trees here. Make sure there's no sun sap on them or something. Thought I heard like a little resource noise. Ah, it was this, the slime fossils. Okay. I was wondering, it's like I definitely heard something. Something was making a little jingle jangle noise. It was this. I will check these trees real quick just to see if there's any sun sap on them. Just because we've gotten so little of it, and what little we have acquired of it, we've already used on the other golden sure shot upgrades that have gotten us up to level 2. Oh, hey, Amber Valley. Well, I forgot we could just be here. I forgot that this was just like a place to get in. I don't want to start exploring from here though, because I feel like that's gonna make this more confusing for me. But before I decide whether or not to go back to the main teleporter, let me get the map open for it. And just see what is new here. So let's see. Oh wow. So the map I have doesn't even have the little teleporter room right here. This thing isn't even on my old map. So that in itself is different. But I do believe that this little stone circle area right next to us, this is also new. This definitely didn't have like a backside area. So this is, for sure, this is new. All of this stuff is new. Definitely was not here before. Oh, hey, there's a treasure pod. Nice. Ooh, display case. Show off your prized collection of items with this handy display case, perfectly preserving objects for your viewing pleasure. That's fun. That's the thing is, like, I've never really done very much with decoration in the Slime Rancher games. I'm usually not much of a decoration person in most games to begin with. But with the global gadget placement system now implemented, that definitely makes it a lot more accessible and enticing to actually go around and try to decorate. Because we're not constantly competing for space when having to decide between, do I put gadgets in place that are actually gonna, be helpful in a utilitarian way? Or do I put down decorations that don't really serve a functional purpose, but they look pretty? Now we don't have to worry about that because we can place stuff wherever. Oh, I see. I see. I see how this works. Okay. I am gonna put this away. Okay, so that's why there's like an install timer on certain gadgets. That's a balancing. That's a balancing thing. Because that was the first thing I thought of when they mentioned like, oh, place gadgets anywhere. Is like, yes, I can put down a refinery link, drop stuff in the refinery link, and then pick up the refinery link. And I don't have to necessarily set one up everywhere I go. In these like little hub locations, I can just drop one, put stuff in it, and then pick it back up again. Technically possible, but I have to wait like a full minute for it to actually activate. And I have a feeling that that is mainly a balancing consideration so that people can't just do that. Which, I get it. Oh boy. Riding a carousel around and around is a wonderful way for slimes to have fun, because going in circles is always fun. Just like how riding a carousel around and around is a wonderful way. That's a fun little way to write it out. To have it so that the carousel's flavor text is in itself cyclical. That's pretty fun. Let's see, where is this in relation to land masses that actually exist on the old map? I'm gonna say right here is about where this one is. I'm working off of approximations for map marking right now. but it should translate easily enough to the new spots, because I'll go back to these spots and make sure that they line up with the new map once I get screenshots anyway. It's not like I'm just going to be blindly transferring the markings to the new map without cross-referencing in-game. So yeah, this little lava patch area is completely new too, because the old map just stopped right at this rock wall. So everything south of this rock wall is completely new. Spots for lava dust, which unfortunately I can't pick up because I don't have a refinery link on hand and my inventory is completely full. Take a moment to refill my energy here while I grab a little bit of high ground. I hear a resource up there. I wonder what type of resource it is. Oh, some radiant ore. Well, I don't have room for it, so I'm just not going to worry about it. What's in the jar? Nothing I really need. Let's see. So yeah, there's a rock wall that I'm climbing right now. This used to be the southern edge of the Ember Valley. So, new area so far. We've found 2 of the 4 new treasure pods. Let me look and see what else is new in terms of landmass here. Yeah, the map that I have doesn't even show the new section of rock right here that has the teleporter to the Powderfall Bluffs. That's how old this map I have is. I think I took these pictures back in probably September of 2022. These screenshots I have were likely the original iterations of the map from early access before anything got really added in. It does look like there's a little bit of beach area over here. This looks like it's new. So let's head over that way. I want to take a look at this too, because it used to be that since this was the cutoff here, it was kind of difficult to figure out a way to get from down here up to this little ruins area without doing some weird kind of like out of the way jetpack climbing that takes you, like, you have to go up here and then go across to a bunch of weird places. With all of this in place now, it's a little bit more immediately obvious where to go, at least from a jetpacking perspective. I'd still say it's not super intuitive on how to get up here without using the jetpack or anything. But it's definitely, it's a lot easier to get up here. It's a lot easier to see how to get up here without just basically having to find a way to scale a sheer cliff face. So yeah, this whole little beach area is new. This is all fun and fresh and new and treasure pod. Accelerator, oh. Any object shot through this ring will gain a boost of speed. It's rumored that too many accelerators bend time and space. Accelerate responsibly. Is this... Wait a minute. Hang on. I need to look at something real quick. Hold on. Is this a Let's Game It Out reference? Because that would be funny, because I know that Satisfactory, for anyone who hasn't played it, like it's like a factory building game where it's like you're on an alien planet and it's a little satirical. It's got like a very tongue-in-cheek, like just you're basically just raising this planet for your own building purposes. It's very like tongue-in-cheek about that. But there are these hypertubes that you can build after, you know, a while. It takes a little bit to get to that level of progression. But there are these like hypertube entrances that look just like this, only in like a more high-tech way and not as like rounded and cartoonish. But Let's Game It Out did something where they just built a ton of hypertube entrances in a row, so they would be constantly accelerating faster and faster. I feel like this might be a reference to that. If so, that's pretty cool. Let me see. I'm just curious if it specifically uses the wording. I want to look at the title of the video. No, so the video itself is like it's titled differently. But I feel like it definitely the visual, if nothing else, the accelerator definitely seems like it's built off of a similar visual concept, even if it's not a direct reference to Let's Game It Out's video where he uses those hypertube entrances for nefarious game-breaking purposes. Let me make sure I mark this on the map as well so we don't forget about it. That would be like right around here, I guess? I think that's close enough. That does just leave one treasure pod, though. And I don't know if there are any other new areas. Honestly, I am kind of tempted to check out the area where this teleportation to the Powderfall Bluffs is, because I don't have a marking there, even on my old map. So that does seem like a place where they could potentially put a new treasure pod. So let's head that way. I'm just take a little look around. Because the trend is starting to look like there is going to be one treasure pod in each of the major areas aside from like the, what is it called? The Rainbow Fields. Other than the Rainbow Fields, which only had the one new treasure pod in the one new area up there, every other sector of the map has had one treasure pod that wasn't immediately obviously in the new areas. So we may have our work cut out for us in terms of finding those remaining treasure pods in each area. But at least with the Ember Valley here, I do have a bit of a hunch of where to start looking. I do wish that M would also close the map. M only opens the map, it doesn't close it again. Take a little peek over here. Yeah, this whole rocky area here. There is an entrance behind, I think it's this waterfall actually. Yep, behind this waterfall, with this room, where it used to just be this lava pool was here and this wall was completely blocked off. Also, strange diamond. I think I'd be willing to sacrifice the odd onion for that. Strange diamond's a lot rarer to find than an onion. So this here was not in the original early access. So this got added in later on. I think, what was that, 0.3? Was the version that got added in? If I remember correctly. I figured I'd just take a quick look around in here. Make sure they weren't hiding a treasure pod in here. Does not look like it, though. I do still have one more possible area to look. Just because it's not in here doesn't mean that it couldn't be in the same area on the map, just above ground instead of inside of the cave. I just have to actually get to higher ground to look around up there. Because we do have a treasure pod that we found right here behind the waterfall is one, I think. Back here? Yeah, right here. There's that one. But then with the addition of that teleporter, we've got all of this new... We've got all of this new cliffside area that I figure is probably worth exploring. Can't quite get myself up there. I'll have to take a look around for a different way up. I figure verticality is also just generally good for being able to try and look around. See if there's anything in the immediate vicinity that's out in the open. Not really seeing anything here, though. I just want to get myself up here if I can. Gosh, this big, flat, open area really feels like they might put something over here eventually. Just to give people a reason to climb up. Well, I guess a more concrete reason to climb up. Right now, these peaks of the mountains are very much like a I climb it because it's there sort of intrinsically rewarding experience. Yeah, I think that leaves us with just one treasure pod in each of the three main larger areas that extend from the Rainbow Fields. So, I think, in the interest of sticking with a more contained area to start with, because both the Ember Valley and the Starlight Strand especially are very expansive areas. There's a lot of ground to cover in both of these zones. So I think I'm going to start with the Powderfall Bluffs, because at least that way, we're not dealing with very much total area. When it comes to Ember Valley and Starlight Strand, Starlight Strand's got a lot of horizontal area to explore. Like, this area just as a whole stretches over a lot of the map. Ember Valley's a lot more vertically dense. There's a lot of different cave systems and cliff sides and things like that. So they're both more intensive to explore in their own unique ways. Let me take a look here. Alright, got my Powderfall Bluffs map up here. Let's start with the immediate area around us. There is a treasure pod back here. Right here. But other than that, the next nearest treasure pods are like all the way up here in the little arc. So we have this whole area here that doesn't show anything. I don't have anything marked in there. So I figure that's probably a good place to start looking around. Just check the immediate vicinity. Just start looking around here. And especially up top, because I think there is area up there that is populated by things to interact with. So I would imagine that there could totally be a place to hide a treasure pod up top here. It's just a matter of getting up there. Thankfully that wasn't too hard to do. I think there was stuff up here to interact with. Was I wrong about that? Huh. Perhaps I'm misremembering. This just comes right back down. This does feel like an area they would have some stuff to interact with. Maybe later they'll do something with it. Yeah, I figure we start here with Powderfall Bluffs and just go section by section. Try and see if there's anything new going on. Because I can just generally kind of take a look at the map as we go and see the average treasure pod density based on the markings of where the previous ones were found. The least marking dense area is up here. This whole land mass area doesn't have any markings directly on it. The closest ones are here on the land directly adjacent to it, and this little island up here that we've already been to. That is a pretty large landmass with no treasure pods in sight, so I am inclined to go check that out first. At the very least, we can get that area sort of checked off the list. And just confirm for certain whether or not there's anything here. So we're on the landmass right now. So what I'm gonna do is just do a general look around the outside cliff area, make sure there's nothing hiding in like a little alcove or something off of the side. Because sometimes there is. Sometimes they do hide stuff in locations like that. Doesn't hurt to check. Yeah, it looks pretty clear on that side. Before we head to the other half of this landmass area. Let me get some verticality and check from up top. Because there is higher elevation to this area too. Make sure I'm not missing anything up higher here. All of up here looks pretty clear. I don't see any treasure pods here. I believe we are right next to a previously found treasure pod. Yeah, that one there. That's the one I was mentioning. Is really close to this whole landmass that we had found before. Let's head over here. Tell these guys to mind their manners. These tar are leaving a huge mess everywhere. We like to keep things clean around here. Kind of look around here. Not noticing anything off the bat here either. I kind of wonder if maybe the treasure pods are only in the new areas and they're just more well hidden. Because the one in the Rainbow Fields definitely was in the new area, but there was only one to find there. All of the other areas have had multiple new treasure pods added to the mix. So that kind of makes me wonder. I can't really reliably use Rainbow Fields as a template for what to expect. Here, something down there. Ah, it's a lucky slime. I'm not as worried about engaging with them because they just give me new bucks, and we've got plenty of new bucks. Which we won't need any more money for quite a while. With over 300k in our pocket here. I guess Powderfall Bluffs being a relatively small area is likely the best place for me to check and see whether having all the treasure pods in the new areas is a reliably sound theory or not. Because, by golly, if there would be an area to test it out with, it would be the most contained area in terms of sheer volume of new land to explore. Which is to say, not as much as some of the other zones. Like Rainbow Fields, there was only one little extra bit of new land mass added to the map. So it makes sense that there's only one treasure pod that's new to find there. I'm just trying to think if the area, the size of the area that was added to the zones is at all proportional to the number of new treasure pods included in these zones. Trying to find some sort of pattern so I have an idea of whether the theories hold any water or not. Because Ember Valley added 4 new treasure pods, but it only added a little bit of physical area. But almost all but one of the treasure pods have been, of the new ones at least, have been found in the new territory. I just find that kind of interesting that we've had some sort of emerging pattern where we're finding all but one of a treasure pod of the new treasure pods in each of the zones. I just kind of wonder what that means for us. What does that mean for our search, our quest for treasure? I feel like there's a couple different conclusions we could draw from that information. One of them is that they did hide all but one of the treasure pods in the new areas, but there is still one treasure pod that they kept hidden in previously existing parts of the map, just to give people a reason to really go back over the old areas with a fine-tooth comb again. But there is also the possibility that there is... that the treasure pods are just a little more... There's like a easier to find ones, and then there's like one really fiendishly hidden treasure pod in the new areas. Those are kind of my two running theories at the moment. I'm kind of secretly hoping that it's the second one. That it's just really, really well hidden in the new areas. Because that greatly limits the amount of area that I have to search. Because right now the idea of having to go back through like every square foot of every area again is not exactly encouraging, in the sense of just not knowing where to start with it all again. I'm not really sure where to go with that then. Well, I'm not entirely sure where to go with those theories right now then. Let's start with looking out for some sun sap here. Let's just take a quick look around for sun sap. Should be able to spot some on these trees, potentially. Would be nice to find some. Nice if I could climb up here. There we go. Trying to think where else to look here. Was that some? No. It's more leaves. More pine needles. I assume these are meant to be like pine tree style. Let's take a brief look around for some sun sap here. If any of these trees happen to have some. And if they don't, that's okay too. Lucky slime is still here. You're not what I'm looking for. Let's see what else. I guess I can put my maps away for now. Leave those off to the side for now. No reason to really worry about the maps if I'm not looking for the treasure pods directly. Just take a look at all of these trees here. See if any of them got any sun sap. Doesn't really look like it. Haven't heard any resource noises either. That would indicate that any of them have something for me to grab. Hmm. And I am seriously wondering where they have these final treasure pods at. I just don't really know. I really just don't know for sure.
Oh boy. What on earth is that? Demon, why do you have music? Why does it have music on this? Is that just loud for me?
I don't know if that was just loud for me or not, but... Hello? Hello? Why is my phone making noises now? Am I being contacted by the radio demon? Hello? Are you the radio demon on my phone? I don't think so. I mean, I guess radio demon is relevant.
If it is Duolingo telling me to do my language lessons, but sorry, dude, I don't have time for that right now. I could be trying to find sap on a tree. I'm trying to learn Swedish right now. I'm busy. I'm busy with business. Man, no sun sap anywhere, huh? Not a drop of sap to be found anywhere. Oh, what a disappointment. Gosh, I am a little scared of having to go through the entire area looking for one more treasure pod. For each of these zones. Something about it just feels like there's a pattern. And I feel like I want to know what it is about the pattern that I'm missing.
But I don't know what it is, and I don't want to look up a map. Because that feels disingenuous to the experience that I want to have of, you know, finding the treasure pods. Which is like the whole point of...
The whole point of looking for them. I just want to, like, find the treasure pods myself. I don't want to resort to an external guide to find them. It's part of why I have screenshots of the maps and marked the locations myself. Because it feels more like... It feels more like the personal exploration of the new frontiers kind of thing. It just feels more akin to the experience that I'm looking for, I suppose. Because I'm sure someone's already made, like, new updated maps with the treasure pod locations on them. Like, I have no doubt in my mind that something like that already exists for this newest update. I don't want to necessarily spoil myself on that.
Because we already get updates for this game at a moderate enough pace that it doesn't really make sense to rush through the new content quick, just like get through it real quick and then not have any new stuff to look at until the next update, you know? If this were a game that we're updating, that were, you know, being updated very frequently, that would be a different story. So then it would be like, okay, well, I want to keep up with the constant speedy flow of content. But this game's update flow is not exactly a breakneck pace. So I think it makes a lot more sense to kind of savor the content that we have with each new update rather than rushing through it. But that's just me and how I kind of approach playing this game. I just don't personally want to rush it for myself. It doesn't really make a lot of sense for me to do that. Let's pop you all in there. I need to take a drink. Because somebody's looking out for me. All right. Got me a little bit more hydrated there. Time to toss some roosters in the pen. All right, what we got going on? Hey, Victor, what's up? Oh, Beatrix, I was up all night trying to synthesize the perfect gift for you. Hypothesizing, testing, throwing my results in the trash, starting all over again. Finally, I discovered an alternate method. Shopping for something online. The process was surprisingly straightforward. Hey, we got the pinwheel. Nice. A large pinwheel that spins wildly when the wind picks up. Until then, it waits. We need tangle plorts for that. Let me look at the weather patterns going on right now. There really is no weather happening right now anywhere except the Powderfall Bluffs, which are always snowing. It's always snowing over there. I guess I can pick this up. It really makes sense to just leave the arches there. The rainbow grass. Let's pick up all the different gadgets, quote unquote, that have been set down over time. I think some of these might have been just placed by the developers. Those seemed like things I hadn't placed down myself. No, I definitely haven't put down any of those chairs or anything. Hello there. What else do I need to do? Let me check on my plorts, actually. How are these stacking up? That's not too bad. That's not too bad. Do we go for Powderfall Bluffs? It feels wrong to not at least try to look for these treasure pods. I do want to try and find them. Let's keep looking through the rest of the area. I did explore one portion of the map on a bit of a hunch. It didn't really pan out to anything. But that doesn't mean I can't take a look at the rest of the area. Just kind of get a sense of where we have and haven't already searched. Powderfall Bluffs isn't too bad of a place to explore. There's a little bit of a cave system in certain spots, but it's not nearly as much as, say, Ember Valley. Ember Valley's got a lot of caves. It's a lot harder to really search that area more thoroughly, because there's just so many different cave systems to have to go into. You can't really scout them from up on higher elevation and get a proper sense of what's within the caves, because you have to kind of go into the caves to see any of the stuff that's in them. Kind of how caves work. I'm trying to think where else to look. I guess we can kind of keep the high ground here. And look over in this direction. I do wonder if at some point they will put in like a treasure pod detector gadget. I don't think they had anything like that in the first game, but I wonder if they'll maintain that design decision when they get to, you know, the full 1.0 release. Or if they'll make something that gives a bit more of a hint as to where these treasure pods are. Let's see, I've got that one marked. I'm just trying to look at I'm trying to use the map that I have to cross-reference where the markings are. So I can try to search. I can try to search with a little bit more information in mind. I know there's another treasure pod over in this vicinity. Might be above me. Or behind me. It's around here somewhere. Yep, there it is. So that's one I've found. Let's see. What else could I look at here? Is there anything else? Let me get up a little bit higher here. Where else to go from here? I guess further north. I can't really check over on those cliffs super easily until it's nighttime and those light bridges come up. But we will get there eventually. Also, AK9 Dog, thank you for the follow. Appreciate it. Glad you're enjoying your time here so far. I have been told about the finals. I will have to check that out sometime. Because I've only heard a little bit about it as of tonight. So I'll have to give that a look-see for myself sometime. Oh, right. I have no energy left. Whoops. Should probably wait for my energy to recharge so I can actually scoot around here. I do actually want to explore up here. Just enough energy to do it. Get up here. Let me pull up my map again. Let me move the maps over here instead. Need to switch which monitor I have my maps on, so that they're a little more easily accessible and readable. Let's see. Okay. That'll help. That way I can just kind of glance between the two a little more easily. Let's see. There's not much happening in the way of marks over here. But I also don't think they have a whole lot of different interactable things over here. Kind of wondering if they'll populate this area with some more stuff later. I mean, they have the light bridges leading up here. These little trails of light that turn into actual walkable surfaces at night. So they definitely intend for people to get up here. To what end? See, I know these guys get all huffy and angry when I walk through that particular area, so I'm just gonna keep going. Yeah, I believe I remember there being
like up there, I think, or something. Are you at treasure pod? Oh, just not enough energy. If I chill out here, I might be able to get back up there. That would be pretty nice. Here we go. What's this one? Yeah, alright. I thought there was a treasure pod that I could see. Alright. I guess there's one right there. There's one I could see from this ledge here. Perhaps not. I mean, looking at the map, I don't see much of anything here specifically. There's one here. And then... Not sure if there's one down lower. This one room in particular goes down pretty far. Well, we just happened to stumble across it, so yeah. I guess the final treasure pod that we'll need to find in each area is just somewhere else in the world. Because this is definitely part of the normal map. This wasn't newly added or anything. Just gonna give this a quick little circle mark here. And we are done with Powderfall Bluff, and let's see what we got in here. Ooh, fire flower. This fiery flora glows with heat supplied by the planet's magma without any of the actual fire hazards. That's handy. That's these guys here. These are fire flowers. I don't know if the ones we can fabricate are this large and...
Scale. But we can add some... We can add some wherever we want to now. Once we fabricate them, of course. Okay, Powderfall Bluffs, I can close that map. Close that map up.
Now, where to next is the big question. We could go to the Ember Valley or the Starlight Strand. Where to go with these? I wonder. We got some wind and rain happening in the Rainbow Fields. Finally, some weather conditions are occurring again. They seem to really pace the weather conditions to be happening a lot less frequently. Kind of interesting. I wonder. Which one of these should we go to next? Part of me really does just kind of want to go to Ember Valley. I think going to Starlight Strand, there's just a lot of area to cover. Well, either way, it's a lot of ground to cover, so I suppose it doesn't matter too much which one we pick, because we're gonna need to do both anyway. So I'll just get myself to teleporter up here, and we will make our way to one of the two locations, whichever one kind of strikes our fancy when we get back to the home teleporter junction. I guess I can grab a couple of these cotton plorts. They're ones that I need to restock on anyway. Add some of these to the refinery. Home again. I have a new message waiting, huh? Let's go check it out. Put those off. I've got the onions over here. Alright, what we got going on here? Orlest has got something for me. Oh, nice. I got a tree. Thank you for the pink tree. A delightful experience. I'm gonna need to do ranch upkeep in the near future, I think.
I don't know whether to go with Starlight Strand or Ember Valley, honestly. You know, I think I actually want to go with Starlight Strand. I think we'll do
Starlight Strand. I think that'll be my best bet. To be honest, I think we'll just go with that for now. And something about the way it's a little more horizontally spread out makes me feel a little more like we're gonna actually be able to locate the treasure pod a bit more effectively. It's not as likely to be kind of stacked on top of another one. But let's see here. I don't notice any particularly marking free areas. So let's just go one by one. We did check out that island over there already. That was where we found one of the new ones. And I didn't see any other obvious hiding spots over there. This little like dolphin-shaped island here doesn't really hold a whole lot of potential either. Well, we'll double check it for the sake of being thorough. But for this area, I think there is only the one treasure pod that's on this side of the archway. Somewhere around here. Yeah, here it is. But since this is a relatively isolated landmass, it does make it pretty easy to just do a quick fly around. And just make sure 100% that it's checked off the list. You do not exercise due diligence. Ignore checking this area and then go everywhere else. Only to come back here and find out that it was here the whole time. May as well just check it while we're here. So now I feel pretty comfortable saying that the treasure pod is not here. We will continue
our search elsewhere. Thinking we stick with this tide pool section for now and just start by working with that as our kind of area to explore. We'll just check out these tide pools and all that. Just make sure that it's not around here somewhere. Grab some materials along the way. Might as well. I know there's a treasure pod down here we already found. Right here. What else? What else? I do see a little bit of a gap in the markings from here to here, but particularly from right around this little rock formation here all the way down to here is pretty clear of circles. Like, I don't think there's a circle in here. So we may very well find something in that blank spot there. Let me get a little bit higher ground here. And get more of an eagle-eye view on the situation. So there's the treasure pod I was mentioning that's at that little rock formation there. So if we start our search from there and kind of continue south, Maybe a pretty decent chance of finding a treasure pod here. Hello, friends. Goodbye, friends. They just kind of popped up and immediately fell down. I can kind of perch myself up here. Nice. I just want to get a nice overview of the area. Kind of look around here and see if there's anything. Let's go a little bit lower here. Do a little bit of flying around. Would like to get on top of here. Anything out behind here? Doesn't look like it. I give myself time to recharge my energy. Okay, keep going south. Don't see much of anything yet. We're almost back to where there are circles again. Yeah, that's the next treasure pod over there that we've already grabbed before. So that's where the markings kind of pick up again. Myself a quick recharge on my energy. Yeah, I've been in here before. So this place isn't anything new for me. That takes us back the way we came from. Didn't see anything from above on our way through. So let's check this tunnel real quick. So there's another treasure pod we've already found. That makes up the little triad that I had on the map. Let's check over here. This little extension of rock over here. This little rock island over here never had any treasure pod on it. But it does have a resource. It does have like a resource node. Makes me think they could put one over here if they really wanted to. But it doesn't seem like they've done anything else over here besides that resource node spawn point. Let me think, where else can we look? Yeah, that's interesting. There used to be these... Wait a minute. Are there still? I mean, not fall in the water first. Because on the map, the old map that I have, there's like 3 big rock formations out here. But on the new map, it looks like they've gotten rid of those visual representations. Though they are still objects in the distance by the looks of it. I just need a steady place to land here. So I don't fall in the water again. Yeah, it looks like they still have those rendered out there, but they also took them off of the map. I guess so that people wouldn't be trying to fly out to them to explore with the idea that, oh, if they're marked on the map, that must be somewhere that they kind of expect me as a player to go. So I think that's probably why they pulled it off the map, off the map screen, but kept them rendered in. They're not completely removed from the world or anything. Let's see. Haven't really seen much in terms of potential treasure pod areas here. Hmm. Just keep referring to my cross-reference map here. Nice thing is these refinery link icons are in the same place, so I can kind of use that as a reference point. Actually, let me check up here real quick first. I think there's a treasure pod I've already found over here. Okay, yeah, I don't think the tide pool area has anything for us. Sure doesn't look like it. There's this treasure pod here. That's that one on the map, okay. Again, just kind of cross-referencing. That other treasure pod must be up there on the mountain. Take that moon dew nectar. Sure, why not? Like I often get a chance to grab any of that. Okay, let me make sure I'm not missing anything here. Where did I find this one? It was... okay, it's up on a higher ledge, I think. Me up here. Yeah, it's up there, I think, is where the treasure pod is at. That I've found already. Take a look. Yep. Okay. Really just trying to make sure that I'm familiarizing myself with the locations of all of the treasure pods again. Plop down here. Thank goodness for no fall damage. Definitely makes platforming a little more convenient when I don't have to worry about how high I'm falling from. Chicken Apocalypse is still alive and well, I see. Always good to know that some things never change. Let's see, we're almost back to the beginning of the area, and I want to start from here. Just so I can kind of say, like, yeah, I've covered these areas from start to finish. There's a treasure pod there. That's kind of our starting point. Okay, there's a little bit of a treasure pod marking gap throughout this whole little blue section here until we get to about this little part where the blue starts to get like really skinny there. There is a notable lack of treasure pods between here and there. Doesn't necessarily mean anything inherently. merely an observation. I believe that's a treasure pod we've already found. It is. These. We've already been out to that island area. We found a treasure pod out there. That's one of the new land masses. Whoa. Okay, let's see. I don't think we're gonna find any new treasure pods out here because there's a couple of treasure pods that are kind of stacked up here. There's one down here. And then just to demonstrate kind of like the whole, just because it doesn't look like it's very far away horizontally doesn't mean that it's not far away vertically kind of concept. So we have a treasure pod down there, right? I believe there's another treasure pod up here on this little ledge. I have to see if I can find a way to get up there with all these, using these rock spires here. Feel like we're really close. Just get all the way up here. I mean, the treasure pod's either up here or it's underground. One of the two, I think. I think this is the right area. Yeah, this is the right area. I think it must be underground then. Yeah, like, so there's a treasure pod right down there. But then even further underground in like one of the caves, there's another treasure pod that's almost exactly in the same spot as far as a two-dimensional map is concerned. Let's see, I don't spot any treasure pods in this little grove area. Let's go tackle the big area here. This is an area that's kind of tough to really check super thoroughly, just because there's so many little nooks and crannies and tunnels and stuff. But I want to give it a look. You never really know for sure. These treasure pods really could be hidden just about anywhere. Yeah, this whole area, from here all the way over to that other archway there. There's a lot of little tunnels and stuff. I do want to try and make sure we actually check those. Here's one that we found here. There's two more to my left. I think I know where those are. What was that? Here, resource noise. I may as well grab the radiant ore while I'm here. See, we got that treasure pod there. Yeah, checking horizontally, I don't mind as much. It's having a bunch of stacked nooks and crannies that gets really difficult to fully check all of them. So I'm having to go up and down and up and down. Sometimes it can be a little difficult to get proper elevation to get back up to a higher spot. But that's one of the things that's nice about Slime Rancher 2 is that it includes a lot more verticality than the first game. First game was very, very horizontally driven. It was very spread out. I don't need Moondew Nectar that badly. I'd rather have the diamond. The diamond is a lot harder to find. At least consistently. Let's see here. That is... Where's that on my map? That is there, okay. Yeah, this place has a lot of different little random alcoves in it. So I just gotta make sure that none of these have anything hidden in them. We can actually get back out this way. Yeah, because the hole to drop down from the top is... a little too far out of reach. So I kind of came in through the exit here. So yeah, the way you normally get into there if you want to drop down from up top, that is right up here, I believe. Yeah, normally there's a Flutter Slime Largo, or Gordo, blocking this opening. Who's being sassy down there? Stop it. Get some help. Let's see, where am I on the map right now compared to where I've found treasure pods before? There is a treasure pod back here, yeah. Okay. Gotta recharge my energy again. That's the other thing that can make checking around in vertical areas a little more difficult, is having to wait for the energy to recharge so I can use my jetpack again. I have pretty limited verticality without it. Let me look. What we've got going on here. There should be one right over this way. Can I get up here? I can. That's helpful. Give me a little bit of a chance to look around from above. See if there's anything I can notice from here. It's kind of harder to spot the treasure pods in the daylight. It's a little more difficult to spot the iridescence during the daytime. But yeah, there's the third treasure pod that's kind of along this lower edge here. Fair enough. We'll get ourselves out of here. And I'll just keep on going this way. Thought I heard something. Really channeling my inner NPC guard with stealth mechanics kind of thing right now. It's like, thought I heard something. Just a box. No treasure pod down there. See, I'm just kind of working my way back up and around through the more kind of like pink area of the map now. Looking around at all these different ledges and such. It's just over there, so that doesn't have anything. That drops down into cave. Where does that teleporter go? Okay. It goes up there. No need to worry about that. I don't see any treasure pods around here. Pretty sure there's at least another couple around this general vicinity. I think one of them might be directly below me in the cave. And then there's another one that is over here. On this cliff, I believe. Somewhere. There it is, up there, okay. There's that one. I don't see any more treasure pods out here. Some more radiant ore, though. We'll pick that up. Why not? Let's go check out the treasure pod that's in the cave here. I do remember how to navigate the layout of this world pretty confidently. I remember a good amount of detail of how these areas are laid out. Especially now that I've been back into playing for a minute here. It's starting to kind of like come back to me. Just like oftentimes they'll end up like I just won't play this for a good while in between updates. Just because it's like there's a bunch of games coming out and I want to try them out. That's one thing that's in a way kind of nice about Slime Rancher updates not coming out too frequently, is that I'm not nearly as likely to burn out on it. Let's see, where am I at right now? Okay. Now this ledge area up here, I believe this was new in a more recent update, and I got that treasure pod. That was one of the treasure pods that got added in a post-initial early access release update. Okay, so we're back to here now. Alright, so we've wrapped around this whole area. We've checked about 3/4 of the whole map at this point. So now we're really starting to narrow down the possible hiding places for this treasure pod. Hopefully I haven't missed any spots, like I haven't missed the treasure pod already. Thing is, there's really no way for me to tell if I did. Because, like, look at the size of these things. They're not exactly the most obvious. They're not super huge. So it is definitely totally possible to miss them if you just happen to not look in a particular alcove or something. So it is worth exercising some diligence, for sure. Let's head down into the cave here. There's a treasure pod right there. Okay, okay. I hear something again. Something very suspiciously shiny sounding. Don't see anything over that way. No treasure pods over there. Let me check down here. Yeah, I don't see much of anything there. Let me go over to this cave. There's one up there. We already got it. Where am I at right now on the map? Okay, this is the other one where right above us there's another treasure pod in this same kind of spot. On my map, the markings are almost directly on top of each other. Like, I almost could use just a single circle to mark both of them. They're that close together. As far as the map is concerned. Then over here... Interesting to see if this ever becomes something later. It's a nice little like bored out tunnel here. Here's another treasure pod we've already found. Let's pop on out of here. There's nothing else to really look for here. Gives my energy time to recharge, which is nice. Okay, so now we're here. We've only got this section of pink to check through now. That's a lucky slime. I don't really care about that one. Whoa, that tar's got some mad hops. Let's get him out of here. We don't need them harassing our buddies. Get some more height to work with here. Okay, in this pink section, just take a look and see what I've got here for markings. Okay. Interesting. Alright, I have another hunch of where we could potentially see some other treasure pod potential. I know we flew through the top of this room already. We just kind of skirted over the top of this cave, so let me double check down below. And I'm glad I did, even if just to grab that one diamond. It's still pretty nice. This leads out here. Okay, okay. Actually, I do want to go this way. I want to take this path back up. We'll check these ledges over here. Okay, these seem clean. The main thing is I would like to head up this way. I'm gonna get back up top here. And then we'll check the final larger section of the map that we haven't been around to yet. See what we can find. All right. So we want to be looking over here. Particularly, I'm interested in the general area we're in right now. Does not have very much marking around it. So I feel like there's definitely some possibility to find some stuff here. I know this cave we already found a treasure pod further up top. Check and make sure I'm not missing anything down lower. I know there's a treasure pod toward the top of the cave. See anything in there? Okay. Interesting. That's normally where we would acquire a scan of this area's map. But since we've already done that, I guess it just opens up the map. Kind of interesting. Where else? See anything down there?
Oh boy. Where to go from here? Where on earth? Oh, this is this place. Okay.
Perhaps I should check over here. I'm gonna have to listen back to the archive and listen to the radio demon effect, because I don't know how loud the music is on the stream, or if it's playing on the stream at all, or why it's playing. But gosh, in my headphones it is really loud. I don't know why. I'm gonna have to mess around with that, I think. Try and get that balanced. Man, I don't know where this treasure pod is. I just don't know. I feel like we've looked just about everywhere at this point. But I must have overlooked something somewhere. Is the treasure pod... It exists in some capacity somewhere. It's not nowhere. I guess we'll go double check the new area again just to make sure. Have a quick jaunt over. Get me up here. Get me up here. Just barely made it. Yeah, I wonder where that treasure pod could be. Where on earth, indeed? Grab these resources while I'm around. Might as well. I don't really see anywhere that really strongly indicates that there would be a treasure pod hidden in a particular spot. I don't see anything that's glaringly obvious when looking at my map markings. It's all pretty generally well spread out. So this is all the new area here. So I'm just going to start by taking a high ground as much as I can. We'll check from above first. If we don't see anything, then we'll go back through more so at ground level on the way back. We'll just kind of see what we can find here. Because I know one treasure pod is down lower. There is like a little sort of underground entrance that leads us to a treasure pod. The entrance is pretty close by. What was that? Hello? Did I clip through the... Oh. That looks a little weird. What's that all about, buddy? I guess the collision on this particular rock is not 100% accurate to the model. I will try not to do that again. I don't see the treasure pod out here at all. Let's go out to this lovely spiral rock out here. They totally could hide a treasure pod back there, couldn't they? There isn't one back there right now, but they totally could put one back there. And I mean, this rock formation is shown on the map. It is something they've shown on the maps that the previous omissions are anything to go by, then they definitely want people to be at least aware that this rock exists out here. Definitely interesting. Interesting that they would have that specifically marked out on the map. I feel like that implies something. I didn't see any treasure pods from up above. Here's our underground entrance that leads to a treasure pod we already found. So that is there. And I didn't see any other indications of a treasure pod around here in this area in particular. Grab some more resources while we're out here. May as well. Trying to kind of take a peek underneath again. As we've been exploring, I've demonstrated that they will hide cave entrances down in these kind of out-of-the-way spots every once in a while. So it's definitely worth checking. I don't see any more treasure pods out here. Suppose we could check the other new area one more time just to make sure. The one that's accessible from the start of the Starlight Strand area. More toward the northern sector. I'm not seeing anything around here. Not even a little bit. Dump those resources in there. Alright, let's head back. Let's head back north. Yeah, I'm trying to think. Have I checked in this cave? There's a cave I've been in recently. Oh, yeah. Yeah, I think I recognize this cave. Hang on. Yeah, we've been in here. Okay. Just had to double check. Was not 100% certain, but now I am. We've been in here already. And I'll just head on back up to the northern area. So I can wrap my way back around that southwestern island. That one out there. Now I'm not gonna fly across because I've learned my lesson. I can't make that. I can't clear that distance. Let's try to get some more verticality here. Try to balance myself up here on the tree for long enough to restore my energy. I just really want to get some higher ground so I can look around a bit more. Yeah, we'll check this other island one more time. Just in case. Just in case. You never know. Alright, we are here in the... What is this? Stony egg lamp. I missed that the first time I came over here. I definitely did not see that thing. That's a new one. I guess since we've got all... This island has a bunch of, like, its own resources on it, we could drop a refinery link here. I'm thinking... Here? Just come over and dump stuff in there. That's gonna take a minute to actually install, so I'm not worried about that right now. Let's just take a nice, thorough look around this little island area. Nice, small, contained zone. So it's not too hard to get a good look around. Got these. Let's take a look at the outer section first. Don't really see much of anything on the outskirts. So I'll get some more verticality then. since it didn't seem like there was anything down lower. That's the only treasure pod I found over here. I think that might be the only one here, considering that the entire rest of the area seems pretty free and clear of any other treasure pods. I think that's the only one that's over here. Drop some things off in the refinery link. And we'll head back across. I really don't see anything else over there. So I think safe to say that these island areas at least are completely clear, so we don't need to recheck these. I am considering removing the rest of the slimes from my ranch, or at least greatly simplifying the slimes that I do have on my ranch, so that it's easier to just explore without having to worry about keeping up with maintenance at the ranch, because there is, if we're going to be searching for treasure pods, I'd rather not have to also worry about going back to the ranch every so often to make sure that resources aren't completely overflowing and in need of desperate management. So I may very well pare down the ranch to just basically having no slimes. Just kind of put the ranch at a bit of a standstill for the time being. We'll go check our message at the comm station here. Root arches. Yeah, thanks for the roots. And shrubbery. Oh yes, it's Bob. Special delivery. Have a great chickens. And if you like rock-based decorations, Bob is your... We're still not sure if he's a man or not. He looks a little gooey. Maybe a little too slime adjacent. Yeah, I can't think of where else we hadn't checked over in the Starlight Strand. I feel like we looked everywhere. But clearly I missed something. Because we're still missing a treasure pod. And I'm just not entirely sure where to look for that. Tis unfortunate. And the Ember Valley I don't think is going to be any easier. Like I said, there's a lot of different caves and stuff to look through. But at the very least, I suppose we can take a quick look over there so that we've at least had a chance to look in there this stream, rather than just leaving it completely untouched. Let's see, we've got rain and some decent thunder kicking up here. No winds, though. I feel like dervish slimes probably need wind to be able to show up. Let's see, I'm going to close the Starlight Strand map, and we'll just keep the Ember Valley map up. There's a treasure pod in here. Know that. So that one is pretty self-explanatory. Let's see here. Not gonna worry about grabbing resources this time around. We've got a relatively limited amount of time remaining for tonight. I just kind of want to look around and see if we can find that treasure pod anywhere. So this is what I mean with the whole verticality thing. There's like these caves that go in a bunch of places. But there's also like there's a treasure pod in here. Just a bunch of different places to look for stuff. With the Starlight Strand, most of it is out in the open, but the Ember Valley is really much more of like an intermixed situation. It's like, yeah, some stuff will be out in the open, but other stuff is gonna be in these caves. And the caves lead back outside here. I believe there is a treasure pod over here. Yep, okay. Remember that one. I'm trying to see how many of them I can remember here without looking at the map for it. I believe there was another one further up the cliff side, yeah. But there was another section to that cave that we didn't go into yet. So we do need to go back and make sure that we're not missing anything in that particular cave area. Work our way back around. Lot of pink tabby largos in there. Here's the entrance to the cave again. Over here toward the end, there was that door on the left here. This leads to a completely different section of the cave. Which in turn also leads to another... leads back to this cave, but higher up, so we can actually launch up to here. There's a treasure pod. That spot. And there's also the treasure pod up here. So that's all kind of nearby and next to each other. Okay, let's head back out through here again. Just to get back out to the main large open space in the center here. I just went the wrong way. Gotta wait for my energy to recharge again. At least a little bit. This right here is a pretty good spot to get some oil if you need it. There's usually a few geysers of it up here. That can be a pretty good spot. Treasure pod over here. Yep. I'm gonna walk so I can recharge my energy. Where else can we look here? Alright, there's another cave entrance here. So even more cave. That leads out here. Right. From here, let's check this direction first, because this area dead ends. As far as the Ember Valley is concerned. Oh, these are new. These windsocks are definitely a new placement. It could be a treasure pod around here somewhere. Yep, there it is. So there's that treasure pod there. Watch out for the electricity. Don't want to get struck by lightning. That would be unfortunate. Oh, hey. We get some storm glass, though. That's handy. It's our first bit of storm glass there. When the sky welds the earth. That's pretty hardcore. So let's see. In this canyon area, the only two treasure pods are like toward the end of it. As far as what I've found here. Oh. Another electricity strike here. Grab some more storm glass. I mean, while we've got it here, we may as well just try to grab as much of the material as we can. Like I said, the weather patterns seem to be kind of few and far between. Doesn't seem like they happen very often at all. So try to take at least some advantage of it when it's around. This doesn't have anything down here. That is an area we can get to later. I don't want to drop down there just yet because we'll wrap back around to it. Let's see here. We already went in to the area that teleports to the Powderfall Bluffs. Ooh, get some more storm glass here. Don't mind if I don't. I don't see any treasure pods up here or over there. I know we've got the one that I already discussed earlier in this little waterfall area. So nothing over here is really going to be super helpful. I can see. There's nothing really going on up here. So instead, I will drop back down over here. We'll continue looking around here. There's a treasure pod here. And then over here, I believe there's another one in this area. Yeah, right there. This is where I was hovering above not too long ago. I think I can maybe reach this, hopefully. Wedge myself up here. Well, that's just a tiny bit unfortunate. I'm gonna fall in. I just don't have enough energy to use the jetpack. That ledge was just a little itsy bitsy too far up. Just a little bit too far. What a shame. Not a huge deal, though. The biggest deal is just that now there's a bunch of, there's a bunch of ranch maintenance I need to do now. Oh, I don't know if it's just the weather conditions or what, but it's starting to lag a little bit more in the conservatory here. Hey, Thora. Thanks for letting me craft ruby grass. Pretty cool. I'm not done looking in the Ember Valley. I'm not done yet. We got a little bit more time here. Put a dash pad here. So that when we come over and down the hill, we can just immediately use that. And then we've got a dash pad here that lets us... I can pick this up and move it to be a little more centralized. Like here. Hey, 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 what you guys doing? Get out of here. Keep this a little more centralized so that when we come through, we can either go to the tide pool area or we can keep going into the more into the valley area. Stop it. Alright. I want to check at least one more spot before we wrap up for tonight. And that is over here. I've only ever found one treasure pod in this kind of ruins area over here. I don't want to check it again. Let's see if they've hidden anything more since the last time I looked. Let's see, where was what I found? Probably down lower, huh? Yeah, down here, I think. Yep, okay. So that's where this treasure pod is. I don't know that there's any other ones in the vicinity. Doesn't look like it. I think we're not gonna find anything else here. The only thing we're gonna find here is more trouble if I stick around. Yeah, you kind of see what I mean when I say that the Ember Valley is a lot more vertically complicated. There's just a lot of these areas that are kind of stacked on top of each other. If I don't have the jetpack, then verticality is a bit of a challenge. Makes it a little difficult to navigate around. Trying to get to higher spots. I already checked over there. That's where we found one of the new treasure pods. Oh, nice, a Yoki slime. That is lucky. Those guys do not show up very often. But in case you're wondering, those Yoki slimes do have a chance of spawning from anywhere that pen hens can naturally spawn, so these nests. So as you're exploring, keep an eye out on those. You never know when you're gonna see something that isn't a chicken. Let's see. This cave can sometimes be a decent spot for finding either radiant ore or strange diamonds. Definitely, if there's a good few spawn points in this room for those to show up. But out here, if you like puddle slimes and or oil, this is a pretty good spot to get them. And a treasure pod. Of course, you can't forget the treasure pods. Alright, let's see here. We've got this cave here. Pretty sure this just takes me from one side to the other. Oh. Misremembered that. There's definitely a whole cave. This cave is a pretty decent spot to find some lava dust, though. Sometimes there's a good number of lava dust nodes that spawn in. Not necessarily the best place to find them, though. So many of these guys. So much tar. Not my favorite. Gotta say. There are entirely too many of these guys. Stop it. Get some help. Stop it. Get some help. My goodness. There are just entirely too many of you guys just hopping around here. Yeah, I think this area is probably pretty free and clear of any treasure pods. Usually treasure pods aren't hidden, like, directly out in the broad open areas. They're usually at least kind of stuck off to the side of more open areas like this. Is that treasure pod up there? Is there anything over here? Perhaps? Does not look like it. Where are we on the map here? There's a pretty strong line of treasure pods down this entire fiery area. So I'm not exactly confident about our chances of finding a new treasure pod. I can at least kind of point out the location of one that did have me stumped for a long time. Whenever we were doing our initial treasure pod hunt, and there was literally one treasure pod left, and it was in the Ember Valley here. It took me a while to find this, and I think I may have only found it with Bless's help, because she was watching during that final cleanup. It was up here. Like, I had scoured this whole valley area, didn't even think to look up there at past the wall of ivy. Like, that's a pretty devious spot to hide it. It's not immediately apparent that that's even an opening. It's completely covered. At a glance, you wouldn't even think about it. Wouldn't even think twice about it. It's only when you start to see, like, off the left side that you kind of have to go out of your way to see it, though. Pretty crazy stuff. Definitely one of the more, like I said, deviously hidden treasure pods so far. Because, like, it's not just that it's off in some alcove, it's one of the few treasure pods that actively feels like that they were attempting to, like, directly hide it and be deceptive about it. There was some active trickery going on. It wasn't just kind of out of the way. They were actively hiding it. It just has a bit of a different feel to that hiding spot. Yeah, just looking around here, I don't really see any other spots for a treasure pod to be hanging out that I can think of. It's kind of hard to tell at a distance here too, because some of these things that look like treasure pods are actually just radiant ore nodes. Because they're kind of rainbowy, they look similar. And that certainly doesn't make looking for the pods any easier. Was there anything over here? Yeah, there was out behind it. Yeah, off in the distance there, that looks kind of like a treasure pod, doesn't it? I'm pretty sure that's a radiant ore node. It is. And then right above it, it's just like more pink wall, which at a distance also kind of looks like a treasure pod. Does make it very difficult to look for them at times. I mean, I've done a pretty decent look around of this place. I haven't searched everywhere. But at this point, I think my brain is starting to give out, trying to keep track of all the different places I've looked. And we've only got a couple of treasure pods left. We've just got the one here in the Ember Valley somewhere. And then we have one in the Starlight Strand somewhere. But once we find them, we'll have them all until the next time they add more. Which, who knows how long that'll be. But at the very least, what I can do in between now and the next time we do any Slime Rancher 2 stuff is I can go through, get screenshots of the new map screens. Just get these new maps. Get pictures of these. Transfer the treasure pod markers over to the new map screen so that we have updated markings for each of the regions. I think that'll help too. That way I know I'm looking at the same type of map and it's not visually different. Now that we've established where the new areas are for each of the little zones, it's just a matter of, you know, looking everywhere to track down the final treasure pod in each of these two zones. So, Starlight Strand, 1 treasure pod. Ember Valley, 1 treasure pod. And that is it. That is all we need to find at this point. So let's head back to the conservatory. And we will call it there. Because my brain broke. My brain broke, it need a break. And I'll have to sort out this whole ranch situation sometime. Probably what I'll do is I'll just get rid of all of the remaining slimes that are set up right now. Like I've done with these stations where I just keep one of each plort in the collector so I know which ones were set where. And we'll just do it that way. Let's keep them set for now. I am very tempted to go back to my Slime Rancher 1 strategy of just taking all of the different slime types and just crossing them with the honey slime and then just growing mint mangoes and just having that be a super easy way to feed them all. Because fruit grows on a consistent timer in a consistent quantity, whereas the hen-hens are a little more, they fluctuate more in my experience. I haven't studied them super closely to see like how much variation there is, but I find them to be a little bit harder for me to fully quantify and pin down exactly how much I'm getting, you know, like per hour or something like that. Fruit is consistent. It grows at the same rate. It grows the same number of fruit every harvest. So it just is a lot more mathematically simple. But yeah, that will be it for me for tonight. This is a perfect representation of how my brain feels right now. But it was fun, and it's nice to kind of test out the new free placement system for the gadgets. That will be very, very useful to be able to just set stuff down wherever I want to. I may go back and reposition things to be more directly useful for me. I was already kind of doing that with the dash pads, just setting them up in the paths that I'll be running through if I'm doing, say, like resource runs. There's definitely a lot more room for me to just kind of slap down a bunch of dash pads everywhere so I can just always be sprinting without running out of energy to do so. And just really make getting around on foot a lot more convenient. But that's all stuff for me to look at, probably on my own time. And I'll also work on getting the new maps. Just get screenshots of these new maps and get the marking circles all transferred over, so that the next time we go looking for treasure pods, we'll have updated maps with currently relevant and accurate markings and land masses. I'll have to go back and find most of the markings that I'm missing for some reason for Rainbow Fields. I don't know where that map went, but I can recreate it simply enough. I just gotta go find all the treasure pods again. It's not a big deal. It's one of the smaller areas anyway, so it shouldn't take me too long to grab all the markings for that again. But I will do all that another time. As for the next stream, I'm trying to think what to do. Oh, I think I know what we're going to be doing next time. I was thinking about doing, I mentioned on the last stream, I was thinking about doing using crowd control with Spooky's Jump Scare Mansion. But we did, in the last week, between the last stream and this one, we did actually meet my first Ko-fi goal. And I know I never mentioned my my Ko-fi page, because it's like I leave it in the description. It's a totally optional monetary support option for people who want to. Let me see if I can remember the command I have set up for it. Is it this one? It is. Okay. For anyone who is interested in financially supporting what I do here with these streams, totally optional. Absolutely want to make that clear. By no means do you have to do anything with this. I just present it there as an option for the people who feel so inclined. I do occasionally, I do plan to put like some specific goals up on there so that people kind of have something that they're actively contributing to, just to kind of make it more engaging, I guess. So the first goal I had set up, and we did meet this, was to do a playthrough of a game called Pseudo Regalia. And that is a game that I had played. There was like a game jam demo of it that came out. It's got like very PS1 era aesthetic vibe to it. But it was really interesting. I really enjoyed it quite a bit. It's got some interesting movement techniques, which was really what I found very, very fun about it. Because it has like a pogo jump kind of thing where you kind of like launch yourself into a high jump off the ground using your staff weapon. You've got like slide jumping. You've got like a wall slide, which kind of acts like a wall run. You've got wall bouncing, you've got wall kicks. There's a lot of good movement options. It feels really nice to play. So I was curious to see what the full release would feel like, and since we've met that goal, I figure that'll probably be what we pop into on the next stream moving forward. I have no idea how long the game is going to be. All I know is that if it's anywhere nearly as good as the demo was, it's going to feel great to play. I greatly look forward to it. So that will likely be what we start looking at on the next stream. Definitely looking forward to it. But that will be it for me for tonight. I do gotta go give my brain a bit of a break after searching for these treasure pods. We did find almost all of them. We're only missing 2 of them now. I'd say that's pretty good. Oh no, wait, the music! I just recognized... No. Oh, my heart. Oh no. It's Casey's song from the credits of Slime Rancher 1. No, I'm gonna cry. No, you can't do this to me. Oh, I'm cursed with pattern recognition. Oh no, I'm actually like, I am actually tearing up. For anyone who hasn't seen Slime Rancher 1's credits, the song that plays during those credits is just, oh gosh, it gets me every time. I had no idea that this music was here. That is such a cool little Easter egg. Oh man. Kinda glad I waited on this screen for a while, huh? That is such a neat little secret thing. I love that. And then it just goes back to normal music. Wow. Oh, that is cool. Okay, I should probably go rest my brain now. So thank you all for being here and hanging out. This was definitely a lot more of a chilled out stream, which Slime Rancher 2 definitely ends up being more in that chilled out direction. Really, there's not a whole lot that really forces me to have to kind of like be on my toes all the time, you know? It just lends itself really well to a very relaxed atmosphere. It's nice to have a game like that. But yeah, I think that's pretty good to be able to come back to this game every once in a while. And the free gadget placement is going to really help open up. Now that they have that in place, I think that's going to help open up a lot of potential for gadgets and decorations moving forward. So, definitely cool to see them shaking up some of the things that Slime Rancher 1 had in it. And just kind of iterating on it and just improving the systems. I feel like being able to place gadgets wherever is... I feel like there's really no reason not to do it that way. It's not like having the specific gadget points is something where it's like... For something like a tower defense game, it would make sense to have specific areas, so that you kind of have to think about the tactics of where you place things. This game's a very casual game, though, so freedom is much appreciated for a game like this. But yeah, I'm gonna go rest my brain now. Thank you all for being here and hanging out. Hope y'all were able to appreciate the chilled vibes for the night. And we will be checking out Pseudo Regalia starting on the next stream. But until then, take care, everyone.